Pokémon Journeys is back for the new year, and with it is a brand new opening and brand new visuals. It's all so cool. Hey, this is Gatorex, and yes, there's a new episode out today. I'm going to be reviewing it. The review will be up tomorrow, but today, let's talk about the opening, because again, some new visuals. Interesting, of course. It's sticking with the same song, but by someone else this time. Personally, I like the last one. The second one, I think, is my favorite so far. But as far as the visuals go, there's quite a bit that teases some future events. So first of all, it shows our trainers. It starts off with our trainers. They're all kind of color-coded. It's pretty nice, Ash, Go, and even Chloe, too. Chloe's a lot more present in this opening, which is also, pretty neat to see. I think especially after last episode, since she finally, caught her first Pokemon, official Pokemon, we're going to be seeing quite a bit more of her, and especially with some of the other stuff we've seen. The trailer that we discussed, I think, 2 weeks ago. Let's see. So first of all, we see all of them together with Leon, and Leon's got a Charizard SUV. Can you believe it? It's interesting. And we see this also throughout most of the rest of the opening, where they're with Leon in this Charizard SUV. We did know from some of the trailers, right, that they were going to be back in the Galar region. So it's interesting to see if they're going to be hanging out with Leon a bit more, because, when they first met Leon, there was the whole thing of like, oh yeah, no, he's the champion, Ash wants to battle him and everything. But I think after the Galar region arc, after Ash was able to spend time with Leon, there's a bit more of a friendship going on. And so that's going to be interesting to see if that continues, if they continue building that friendship like that, because, there's inevitably going to be a big battle. That's basically the end goal of the series, Ash battling Leon. So it's kind of interesting we see that. We've also seen them with a bunch of other Pokemon just out in the wild, or, in a river. Whether some of these Pokemon are wild, whether some of them are going to be some that Go catch, who knows? One interesting thing, though, we see Chloe with a Ponyta. And we did know, again, from a trailer that Chloe's going to be hanging out with a Galarian Ponyta, a Galarian Rapidash. Whether she was going to just be hanging out with them for a bit, or whether she was going to catch one. It seems like maybe it's hinting more so that she's going to end up catching the Galarian Ponyta, because it's with them, and this doesn't look like, Ponyta's natural environment. From that, another speculation of catching a Pokemon. Grookey hops in, messes around with some of the Pokemon, and one interesting thing is that, okay, yeah, sure, Grookey's going to show up, but who's going to catch it? The funny thing is, in this intro, they really kind of seem to tease that as he jumps on Go and Ash and jumps away. So, it could be interesting if it's like, a Pokemon that hangs out for a bit, doesn't really get caught by either of them, causes some trouble, and then runs off for maybe a few episodes eventually until someone catches it. It could be Go, because Go's already got Sobble and Cinderace. So it could make sense if he gets Grookey, because, then he just has all three of the Galar starters. And because, it kind of seems like that's what's happening with Go, and especially with, I guess Sobble and Cinderace hanging out with him more so. It would make sense if it's just add Grookey, say, on the other shoulder like that. We get to see the legendary beasts, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. We did know that there was going to be a Suicune episode just based on some other things that happened before. But it seems really dramatic with what's going on here. In terms of what, how exactly that's going to play out. It's still going to be neat too, having legendary Pokemon again, in the series. There's a montage that shows a bunch of different characters that have been in the series, and it's so smooth looking. Characters we knew before, characters that had returned from other series, and it's just really nice. The big thing, though, that's just breaking the internet now is that at the very end, it's all characters we've seen before, like, Sonia, Karina, Professor Oak, stuff like that. But at the very end, it shows Iris and Gary, two characters we have not yet seen in Pokemon Journeys. So, obviously, they're going to be coming back, and that's pretty big. Gary, for one thing, I guess makes a little more sense, right? Being Ash's rival. Now I think they're a little more chummy now, but just the fact that, being Ash's very first rival, him coming back, and in Pokemon Journeys, which is kind of like the big series so far, that's kind of tying a lot of things together. It seems like more so now, especially with this opening, that they're going to be working a little more toward that, and that things are going to be getting better, ramping up from here. So that's pretty neat. I'm fully expecting a battle between them, especially with that's going to be so sick if they do battle at some point, especially if Ash uses full team, right? If he uses Gengar, Dragonite, Lucario, that's going to be so sick. And just to have Gary back is going to be interesting. Iris is another big, is more not out of nowhere, I guess, but the fact that Iris hasn't really returned in any sense. It was a pretty big thing for companions to return, and we've seen a lot more of them, more so. So I guess Iris is kind of next in line, right? We saw everybody with Alola a few episodes back, and, you know, previously in past series, you know, other characters have come back. It would be great if Iris sticks around for more than one episode, if it's kind of like maybe a little, they don't typically do like arc stuff, I guess. Well, I guess you could count the Raboot thing at the very beginning. That's just what I would love. I would love for Iris to stick around for a few episodes, because that's, you know, Iris is great. Especially, you know, her having a Dragonite, Ash having a Dragonite now. It's going to be some interesting interactions if that happens like that. So, again, that's just what's breaking everybody. We see them in the car again, or in the Charizard SUV. So it seems like, I don't know if that's like something that's really going to be happening much, or if it's just like a cool visual thing for the opening. It might be interesting to see, again, you know, if they're traveling with Leon quite a bit. We see Chloe a little more, just interacting with everyone. Again, you know, it's very, Chloe's in this quite a bit, and Eevee is with her. And of course, there's a little tease of like, ooh, what will Eevee evolve into? Ooh, it could be any of these, bunch of possibilities. And I think I discussed, you know, before, like, I think, you know, it's possible it could just be stay in Eevee for the rest of the series. But, you know, some cool teasing stuff there. We get to see a bunch of mythical Pokemon as well. We knew that at least, you know, Mew was Go's goal to, you know, meet Mew, catch Mew, and Celebi was in one of the episodes as well. Jirachi, I guess, was like mentioned in that same episode, but having them all there, it's kind of interesting to see whether they'll include them. For one thing, right, we had a thing where it was teasing, or it was showing a bunch of legendary Pokemon, and we didn't really get any of them, aside from Zapdos, right? So, you know, it could just be a little thing of tying everything together, being like, oh yeah, you know, this is Pokemon, and, you know, especially this year being the 25th anniversary, it could just be a nice little thing for that. Then we get, yet again, another tease of a battle between Ash and Go. That was something we got in the last opening, even though the battle didn't, like, you know, I'm sure they've trained here and there, but as far as, like, a big battle, I think that would be great for that to happen at some point in the series. You know, we just see like some dramatic teasing of a battle between Lucario and Cinderace. I think, you know, the fact that Lucario and Cinderace are buddies, it's more of like, you know, a friendly thing, or just kind of to show that. But again, I would love if there was a full-on battle between Ash and Go at some point in the series. And again, you know, more teasing of a battle between Ash and Leon, because that's basically the end goal of the series. And then the whole opening just kind of ends just showing off like literally every character, literally every Pokemon we've seen up until this point. So this one feels a lot more like, again, a celebration kind of thing of the series as a whole, and, you know, teasing for some interesting things coming up, especially just, you know, with how big it is. Great thing to wake up to for the new year, or a great thing to start off the new year, and especially now that the series is back week to week, so it's pretty neat. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What was your favorite part of the opening, I guess? What predictions do you have for what's coming next in the series? All of that stuff. Again, you know, really excited that Gary and Iris are gonna be coming back in some sense, so that'll be neat to see. Again, I hope they get some good episodes, and hopefully more than one episode. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we can pray. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, drop some applause if you want to. It's that button down there, and remember to enable notifications, you know, if you want to stick around for each new video as it comes out. But anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.